Hi there. Today's video is about English verbs. It can feel like a big challenge, but I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to help you to remember and, more importantly, understand all the verb forms in English. Ready? Let's go. Let's start from the very beginning. Verbs communicate when an action occurred. Now, last year, next month, and also the context of that action. Is it a habit? Is it a finished action? Or is it ongoing? What happened before or after? Could it happen again? When you study verb tenses in English, you may have noticed that they have names like past simple, present continuous, future perfect. It's like if they have a name and a surname. The name, present, past, future, is the tense, which primarily refers to the time at which an action or event takes place. And the surname, simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, is the aspect. Aspect does not specify the time. It gives us context about the action. It provides additional information about whether the action is ongoing, completed, or repeated. So the tense tells us when an action or event unfolds, and the aspect tells us how. You need to learn how tense and aspect work if you want to master English verbs, but let's have a quick look at the basics first. The base form of a verb. This is the simplest form of a verb, also called infinitive. This form has no endings. It is the one listed in dictionaries when you are looking for the meaning. For our examples, we are going to use the verb work. Then we have the past participle. In regular verbs, we add ed to the base form, but in irregular verbs, it can be different. Like, for example, take becomes taken. This is the third form you find in irregular verbs list. And finally, the ing form. Basically, we add ing to the base form. Let's also include the two auxiliary verbs we are going to need to create more complex tenses, have and be. Now that we have the basics, we are going to start with simple forms. These are used for single actions, habits, routines, and to describe facts. For example, my father is a doctor. I bought a piano. I will see you tomorrow. So what do they look like? In the present simple, we use the base form, I work, and for he, she, or it, we add an S at the end. He works. Easy, right? So please remember the S, please. For the past simple, we add ed for regular verbs, but irregular verbs change their form, so you need to learn those. And then the future simple, use will with the base form, I will work. Easy. Let's add the simple forms for the verb have and be. Remember, they are irregular. We have covered all the basics, so let's get into more complicated stuff. First up, continuous forms. The continuous aspect is about something that happens continuously in a limited period of time. It indicates that an action is in progress, an action that is not completed. It does not tell us how long the action takes, or what is the result of the action. It only indicates that it is in progress. To form the continuous tenses, we need the verb to be, in the present, the past, or the future, plus the ing form of the main verb. So, the present continuous is I am working. For example, I am working on a new project. Here the time is the present, and the how is ongoing, not completed yet. The new project is not finished. So, the present continuous is used for events which are in progress at the moment of speaking. For the past continuous, we use the past tense of the verb to be. I was plus ing, so I was working. For example, I was working on a new project when he called. Here the time of reference is the past, and the how is an action in progress. So the past continuous is used when an event was in progress in the past. Now let's travel to the future. For the future continuous, we use the future tense of the verb to be. I will be plus ing, so I will be working. For example, are you free tomorrow morning? No, I will be working on a new project. Here we are talking about an action in progress. When? In the future. So, we use the future continuous for actions that will be ongoing over a period of time in the future. Remember, continuous tenses are formed with the verb to be, whether it's in its present, past, or future form, plus ing. Next, we are going to talk about perfect forms. These can be tricky because the perfect aspect connects two time periods and focuses on the result or consequences of a previous action at the time of reference. In other words, we use perfect tenses when we look back from a specific time and talk about things up to that time. To form the perfect tenses, we need have in the present, the past, or the future, plus past participle of the main verb. The present perfect is I have worked. For example, I have worked on this project for a whole month. It describes how a past action creates a result or a situation that extends to the present. The specific time we look back from is the present. So the present perfect connects the present to the past. For the past perfect, use had plus past participle. I had worked. For example, she had left by the time I arrived. It shows something was finished before another action. The specific time we look back from is another time in the past. The connection is between two actions in the past. Now let's go to the future. Use will have and the past participle. I will have worked. For example, they will have arrived in London by Tuesday. In this case, we look back from another time in the future. From this example, we will be right to assume that the speaker is thinking ahead, probably planning something after Tuesday. The complete context could be something like, they will have arrived in London by Tuesday, so we will meet them on Wednesday. Remember, the perfect aspect connects two time periods and focuses on the result or consequences of an action at the time of reference. Now let's look at the perfect continuous forms. The perfect continuous is used to express actions in progress over a period of time, but it is also tied to a specific time point, past, present, or future. In other words, it tells us how long something was happening up to a certain moment. To form the perfect continuous tenses, we need the perfect form have plus been in the present, the past, or the future plus ing. The present perfect continuous is I have been working. For example, I have been studying for 3 hours. Here we have an ongoing action, studying, up to the present. So the present perfect continuous is used when an action that started in the past is in progress up to now. For the past perfect continuous, use I had been. For example, she had been studying before they arrived. This means the action, studying, was in progress for some time. When? Before something else happened in the past. So we use the past perfect continuous when an action was in progress up to a certain moment in the past. And for the future perfect continuous, use I will have been. For example, by next month, he will have been studying English for 6 months. This shows an ongoing action, studying, up to a future time. Wow, that was a lot. But here's the key takeaway. Verbs have two parts, tense and aspect. Tense shows when the action happens, in the present, past, or future. and aspect shows how the action happens. It gives us context about the action or event. The four main aspects are: simple, states a fact or general truth; continuous, shows an action in progress; perfect, connects two time periods and the focus is the result of a previous action; perfect continuous, shows an action in progress up to a certain point in time. Thanks for joining me. Keep practicing and you'll master English tenses in no time. See you in the next lesson.